I was born in 1943 with mild cerebral palsy and grew up when it was still illegal to be LGBT. The only early thing I remember about sexual orientation is probably from age 3 or 4, a warning from my father, probably something like, "Little boys who play with themselves, as you tend to do, usually become homosexual." Home was Glasgow in special education, a year behind academically and probably in other ways, apart from a year 1949 to 50 at Westerly School in Edinburgh for children with CP. Then in 1955 I moved to Alloa Academy, mainstream education. I gained the required qualifications for university entrance, but disabled pupils were still left out of PE, so I was isolated. When I failed to develop opposite-sex relationships, it was assumed I was behind. Being out of sports and school dances, and then not able to drive because of partial vision, I wasn't sexually attractive to girls anyway. There was constant pressure and what would now look like homophobic bullying, but I became immune to it about 18 before university at St Andrews. My longest period of employment was a bad experience, not using my skills and my disability being a problem. Some employers made comments like, "You've done very well despite your disability." In 1983, I came to Edinburgh for part-time degree studies, finishing in 1991 with an M.Lit in Gaelic poetry. I acquired other skills and developed freelance and voluntary work. In my late 50s, after my parents died, still without girlfriends, I came to realize that I was gay and joined local groups. Having learned computing skills, I found Disgay Talk, a USA group for gay men with disabilities. It was through this I got in touch with Ken Moses, and after 6 years of correspondence, I first went to visit him in February of 2010. We realized that having spent a month together, getting on perfectly well, that there was definitely a relationship between us, and that if it hadn't been for problems like pensions and citizenship, with our homes being on opposite sides of the Atlantic, we could have become partners. We cooperated on the production of a literary booklet, and then I visited him again in 2011. This was the final proof that I was gay.
What was that like when you got off the plane and saw him?
Well, it was just such a novelty for the two of us, just expanding the interests in common we had discovered from the correspondence, just expanding.